Hi, I'm Kenny Roo. Welcome to Kangaroo Energy, where we share practical knowledge on energy, money, technology, innovation, and everyday life. We have something important today. Let's get into it.
Hi, I am from Kangaroo Energy. Renting in Australia has become extremely competitive. Prices are rising, vacancy rates are tight, and finding a place to live often feels like a race against hundreds of other applicants. But what many renters don't realise is that the biggest costs are sometimes hidden behind the scenes. Most people think the only expense of renting is the weekly rent itself. In reality, there are several hidden traps that can quietly cost renters money, control their choices, and even expose their personal information. Today I will explain 3 hidden traps that are quietly affecting renters across Australia and what you can do to protect yourself before signing your next lease. Let's start with the first trap. The first hidden trap is the amount of personal data renters are asked to provide when applying for a property. When you apply for a rental today, it is no longer just a simple application form. Many rental platforms now collect a large amount of information from applicants. This can include identification documents, bank statements, employment records, references, and other personal details. Some digital application systems request dozens of pieces of information before an application can even be submitted. In many cases, this data is stored on online platforms used by property managers and agents. The concern here is that there are still gaps in how this information is handled. Different platforms have different rules for how data is stored, who can access it, and how long it is kept. In some situations, renters may not even know where their documents are being stored or how securely they are protected. Another issue is that some platforms use automated systems to review and rank applicants. These systems may score applicants based on factors that are not clearly explained, which can make the process feel confusing or unfair for renters. The important thing renters should do is ask what information is truly required, why it is needed, and how long it will be stored. If your application is unsuccessful, you can also request that your documents be deleted. Now let's move to the second trap. The second hidden trap involves how rent payments are collected. In the past, rent was usually paid through simple bank transfers. Today, many renters are being encouraged to use third-party payment platforms or apps to pay their rent. Some of these platforms charge small transaction fees for each payment. On the surface, the fees may appear minor, but over the course of a year, they can add up to hundreds of dollars. In some cases, the free payment option exists but is less convenient, which naturally pushes renters toward the paid option. Another concern is that when payments go through third-party platforms, the money may pass through intermediaries before reaching the property manager's trust account. If something goes wrong before the money reaches the licensed agent, protections may be limited. For this reason, renters should always ask one simple question before signing a lease. What is the fee-free way to pay rent? Australian tenancy rules generally require that at least one payment method must be available without additional fees. Make sure you understand exactly how rent will be paid and where your money is going. Now let's talk about the third trap that many renters only discover after moving in. The third hidden trap is something called an embedded energy network. In some apartment buildings, residential parks, and community developments, electricity is supplied through a private network rather than a normal energy retailer. Instead of choosing your own electricity provider, the building operator purchases electricity in bulk and then sells it to residents inside the complex. This means tenants may be locked into a single energy provider with limited ability to shop around for better prices. Because these networks operate differently from traditional retailers, pricing and billing structures may also be less transparent. Some states are now reviewing how these systems operate and exploring ways to improve transparency and fairness for residents. However, rules can vary depending on the location and the type of property. Before signing a lease, renters should always ask whether the property is connected to an embedded energy network and how electricity will be billed. Understanding this in advance can prevent unexpected costs after you move in. So to quickly summarize what we have covered today, the first hidden trap is the amount of personal data required when applying for rentals. The second hidden trap is third-party rent payment platforms that may charge ongoing fees. And the third hidden trap is embedded energy networks that can limit your ability to choose your electricity provider. Renting in Australia is already challenging, but understanding these hidden risks can help you make smarter decisions and avoid unnecessary costs. The more informed renters are, the easier it becomes to protect your privacy, your money, and your long-term financial well-being. Subscribe for more videos, like, share, and stay informed.
Hi, I'm Kenny Roo. If this helped, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you'd like us to cover next.